This is Garivision Indigenous Network. Garifuna Suada. Lights, camera, rolling, camo.
This is Garivision Indigenous Network, where the Garifuna culture thrives. From beautiful Piney by the Sea to Barranco, Georgetown, St. Mike, Hopkins, and the culture capital, Dangriga.
This is Garivision Indigenous Network. Garifuna Suada. Bitiguyon, Hosung Wanigo, Hosung Garinago Niladi. Good evening and welcome to another Garivision Indigenous Network thought-provoking conversation where we share information to enlighten, to empower, to educate, and to elevate you, our viewers. And from the inception of Garivision Indigenous Network, we said that we were going to change the way we look at Garifuna. We're going to make, my cousin Bill Flores would say, we're going to make Garifuna sexy again. So, so that's what we plan to do here on Garivision Indigenous Network, is to change the way we look at Garifuna and to change the mindset of you, our viewers. Welcome, Brother Amadi. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Francois, Melissa, and to all our viewers in Belize and in the diaspora. Thank you for joining again, and we hope you enjoy the conversation. And also, if you can, right now, maybe you can share the live so other people can be aware that we're live.
Okay. So last week we spoke about fixed and growth mindset. And I believe that we need to change the mindset of Garinago today, because it's very essential that we change the way we look at ourselves by changing our mindset from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Now, the fixed mindset we talked about, the fixed mindset is something like this. Well, this is just the way I am and I can't change. All right? So that's basically the fixed mindset. And when I looked around in Dangriga, I can see the effects of having that fixed mindset, because nothing haven't really changed for many, many years. Things remain the same. It's like we're in a fixed state of mind. It's like we're in this fog of a fixed mindset that we can't see our way out. We can't see how to change it. We can't see any difference. So we get stuck in this mindset. And now it's essential that we change the mindset of Garinago everywhere, especially in Dangriga, where I'm from. The mindset needs to be changed. Dangriga, Hopkins, St. Mike, Georgetown, Punta Gorda, the United States, wherever we are, we need to change our mindset and make Garifuna unique again. You know, we are unique. We are unique. I've always said this. We speak our own language. We are one of the only African people in the Western Hemisphere who have our own identity. We are unique. Let's take a look at Panama. The black people in Panama, they speak Spanish. The black people in Puerto Rico, they speak Spanish. The black people in Jamaica, they speak Patois. The black people in Haiti, they speak French. The black people in Dominican Republic, they speak Spanish. The black people in Cuba, they speak Spanish. But we, black people in Belize, in Honduras, in Nicaragua, we have our own unique identity. We have our own unique spirituality, our culture, our language, man. And we are not gonna, and we can't sit in this fixed mindset. You know, our ancestors, they died. They died for us to remain who we are today. They died for us to maintain our language. You know, when Joseph Chartier, our chief, was killed, his troops, the ones who refused to become colonized, they fought and they were exiled from St. Vincent because they didn't want to become colonized. They wanted to remain Garifuna. They wanted to be first class Garifuna. Why would you want to be a second class English or second class Spanish when you are a first class Garifuna? You understand? Why would you want to be a second class English person when you are a first class Garifuna? So we have our own unique identity, but you know what? We have remained in this fixed mindset for many, many, many decades, and it's time for us to wake up. It's time for our leaders to wake up. It's time for the mayor. It's time for the National Garifuna Council. It's time for everybody who is Garifuna in Dangriga, in the South, to wake up, rise up. You see what happened to these 4 women? You see what happened? Now, it's because our leaders, they allowed this to happen with their fixed mindset. And there's no critical thinking. So can you imagine your mindset is fixed and you don't know what critical thinking is? So this is the way we are in Dangriga, and people are just coming into Dangriga and use us and abuse us, and we just sit there passively. We sit there passively, and we don't fight. You know, you rather fight with me. You rather fight with me for shining the light on the dark. So why would you rather fight with me? Because I'm shining the light on the dark. But you should fight with them for what they're doing to you right there in Dangriga. And listen, we need to have a big boycott. Understand? Right there in Dangriga. But let's move forward with the show. And before we move forward, we're going to take a 10-second station identification break, and then we'll come right back with Brother Amadi. So don't you change that channel. Stay right there. Okay, welcome back. And Brother Amadi?
Yeah, Francois, I'm right here. So, yeah, the fixed mindset, Francois, and we talked about how we are one of the only group of people that speak the language and carry on the culture in this western part of the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I understand this fixed mindset and I understand the growth mindset. Now, when I understand the difference between the fixed mindset and the growth mindset, I start going to analyzing what the elements of the fixed mindset and the elements, right, of a growth mindset. And the fixed mindset that applies to our people is very, very complicated. It's very intricate, like a web, because you have the history, of colonialism, you have so much thing, and you have the history of colonialism, the mistreatment, then you have all these legal instruments that goes back from before from the 40s and the 50s, always some type of instrument that restrict the Garifuna people from fulfilling a growth mindset.
Right.
I have a growth mindset, but there are legal instruments that prohibits me from exercising or doing what I want to bring my mind, what I have in my mind, into fruition. So like I said, it's very intricate, it's very complicated, and some people, everybody have a different defense mechanism. So when I feel this pull, this power that is trying to restrain me from growing, right? I could find ways how to deal with it or how to try to get around it. There are people who might have a less capacity to analyze and break things down, and they feel hopeless, and then it's easier for that person to behave in a fixed mindset because that is comfortable now. That's something I'm comfortable wearing. This is life. The house, the roof, the leak, the walls, the drop or the flooring, but hey, I will always justify that. At least I have a roof over my head, and there's people worse off than me. I'm sure I'm better off. We justify all of these fixed mindset behavior. So again, it will take education again, like exactly like what we are doing. And I think with this fixed mindset and the growth mindset, with respect to the Garifuna people, we need to now break down what colonialism is and the effects and the trauma and the effect of colonialism, because the reason why we have the fixed mindset, whether it's fixed mindset or growth mindset, majority of the people have a colonial fixed mindset, growth mindset. I'm thinking that what we're trying to do is to have a Garifuna growth mindset, or a Pan-African or African growth mindset, not a European. For example, we're going to define spirituality when we define our God, right? We have our own God, our Garifuna people. We don't have a colonial God. We don't have a European God. When the European came and introduced their God to our ancestors, right? They introduced God as a jealous God, not mean that you cannot have other gods, even though the Bible support many gods, right? But even though the person who authored the Bible said you should only worship one God, but I'm just saying that it also alludes to that there are other gods. That's why God said, do not worship other God. And God said, do not worship other God. Clearly, there is other God. So I'm saying that we have to challenge colonialism all the way from its value system. And its value system comes from a corrupt religious concept, ideology, because Christianity is a compilation of European paganism, some of Christianity, but we don't study, the typical Christian really don't study and really look behind the Bible, right? We just take it as face value. But I can debate any Christians right now, and I can 100% sure I would put my life on the line for it, that they cannot defend half of the things in the Bible. And no offense to Christians who want to be Christian and everything, because I believe that most Christians, while they are Christians, they are holding on to their personal spirituality rather than the religion. So they are giving credit to religion when truly it's their own personal religion is what's working inside of them, not the religion. The religion is man-made. It's just an institution.
Yeah, let me speak briefly about this fixed and growth mindset. So when I was working for the banks, fixing ATM machines, and the company that I was working for decided that they were going to take every employee to a class. And this class was about mindset, and this was 1995. Yeah, so all the employees went to this class, this course, And this course was about how to change the mindset from a fixed mindset. If you have a fixed mindset, how to change it to a growth mindset. And last night I searched all over looking for some examples on fixed and growth mindset. So let's play a couple of videos, a couple of clips from YouTube that I downloaded, and it is explaining some concepts of the fixed and the growth mindsets, and then we'll come back and we'll talk some more about it.
I wanted to come into a space today to talk a little bit about mindsets, and in particular about growth mindsets. There is a fixed mindset and there is a growth mindset. You need to learn to be uncomfortable. You need to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And you need to be in a space where you allow yourself to be challenged, but more importantly, in a space where you are willing to be uncomfortable and grow. Most people live in the fixed mindset. The fixed mindset is, this is who I am. This is what I know. This is what I'm capable of, this is what I'm good at, and this is where I'm going to stay. The growth mindset says the following. It says, this is where I am now. This is what I'm good at now. But I recognize that if I go through a particular process, I can grow myself and become a better person. Now, here's the thing about the growth mindset, which most people miss. There is no destination if you're a growth mindset driven person. There's only the next location. So you're never complete. Your growth journey is never complete. You're constantly becoming better. Here's the thing though about having a growth mindset is you can have a growth mindset in an environment of scarcity. And the limitation of your mindset is still the environment that you're in.
Yeah. You know what? I wanted to touch briefly on passive. On the fixed mindset. When you are set in a fixed mindset mode, you are being passive aggressive. Now, passive aggressive. What does that really mean? It means the indirect expression of negative feelings like anger, resentment, resistance. You hold on to these. You hold on to them instead of letting them go. That's a form of the fixed mindset and passive aggressive. But like I said earlier, with the growth mindset, you are able to change. It's like you're on this journey. You're not going to a destination. You're on this journey. If that make any sense. If that make any sense to you, Brother Amadi?
Yeah. Francois, to me, right, when I think about the growth mindset, I always consider the growth mindset in this fashion that let's use it in our present condition, right? I always preach this to everybody that I talk to. We should spend more time, right, focusing on solving our problem. One of our problems is disorganization and disunity. So we should organize and unite. We should spend more time on that, and you know that what we are going. So again, growth mindset, not saying that things we can't change things. It's just going to be this way forever. A growth mindset will always try. I believe will always try to find a way to fix a problem. Would not just sit there idle by knowing that there's a problem. Right, so I see fixed mindset even as we happen to brother Charles would say that it has to do with the resilient mind again. That just because I get rejected today or I didn't get the job today or something doesn't mean that nobody will hire me. All right, a growth mindset will be like, well, nobody will hire me, then I just create my own employment. I'll be self-employed.
Yeah,
they will figure something out. They will just not sit there and wallow in their misery.
You know what? And talking about that, and I know that our ancestors had this growth mindset because they were always ready to change. You know, but they didn't sit around and say, you know what, this is the way it's going to be. The British are here. They're going to capture us. They're going to take away our language. So they had this growth mindset. They were ready. They were willing and ready to die and they were willing to make changes. So where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong to where we are today in this fixed mindset? Where did we go wrong?
I'm telling you, Francois, what my personal belief that where we go wrong with the mindset, I'm telling you that everything that is inside the mind that created what you call the fixed mindset or the growth mindset, but in this case that is the growth mindset, it's all a person belief system, all about the person being. Everything about me tells me when I'm a fixed mindset or a growth mindset.
Absolutely.
So if I'm the person that is described as a fixed mindset, it have things to do with what I believe in, what I trust in, because I will act on what I believe. So if I believe there's no hope, I believe that nothing will get better,
Nothing will change.
I will remain fixed.
Yeah.
Right? I will remain fixed in my position.
Yeah. So
again,
and when I look at the National Garifuna Council, for 40 years they remain in a fixed mindset. From my observation, I could be wrong, but from my observation, from the outside looking in, I could see that they are in a fixed. They have been in a fixed mindset for many years, from the inception, as a matter of fact. Because when I was reading the Articles of Association, Article number 1, it says that the primary mission of the National Garifuna Council is to promote interracial harmony within the races, right? So if you are a Garifuna organization and your number one mission is to promote interracial harmony with the races, and you see what happened with the young women who got fired? Okay, so if you are promoting interracial harmony, so you cause this problem that's happening right now today, because if you were not promoting interracial harmony, then this wouldn't have happened. Because if you were creating harmony within the Garifuna people alone, if you were if you were being segregated towards Garifuna, then this wouldn't have happened.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Harmony. You should know. There, you see, Francois, it's funny when they go to school and you get educated, like I said, you get miseducated, right? Because
right.
That's the trick. That's the trick right there. These are supposed to be educated people, right? And it's like they're inviting racism into the organization.
Absolutely.
Right? Or in other way, not to say inviting racism, then that, you want to promote harmony with racist people, however you want to put it.
Yeah.
Right? So again, and there ought to be, I wouldn't say ought to be, I don't know what the word is to say if they're educated or not. I'm just saying that, they ought to be educated enough to know better. But again, then I might have to define what education is, because according to them, they are educated, right? So again, what is education now? Now we have to break that down, because again, with Western ideology, being educated means having a piece of paper that says you're a journalist and you're a advocate and all of these fancy words somebody use when they talk, right? And now I can't say I have no credentials to back up, so I am supposed to be a bijigatao because I have no education. I am considered, let me tell you, legally speaking, in the Western culture right now, I am a functionally illiterate person. Can you believe that? Think about it, to my viewers, and I'm not lying. Yeah. I would be considered a functionally illiterate person without the paper that they would require for me to go hold a 9 to 5.
Yeah. You know what? And before I lose my thought, when the Catholic came into the Belize, into the Garifuna community, you see, they use this trick. They took all the bright men and they took them out the community. They went to the Maya villages to teach. Can you imagine? You are going to go teach the colonizers' language to somebody else. So while you are gone, while the men are gone, now the women are stuck with raising the children by themselves, and the men are no longer in the community because they are gone to teach the colonizers' language to someone else. And I believe that's where the problem started. I could be wrong, but I believe that's where most of our issues started, with the men not being at home, with the men being gone. So now the women have to take control and be a mother and a father while the father is gone.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Francois. Like, that's what I'm saying, that when I went back all the way to what you were saying when the men went, I said that's what I'm saying. It's like a web. It's intricate because it tied with how the let's use, for example, a quick little thing. After Hurricane Hattie came, right? Many Garifuna families, lost homes. The men lost their engine, their boat, their nets, all this stuff the men lost, even the farm, crop, their stock, their pig, their dog, maybe everything just gone, right? No one to support us. The government didn't come and give us any handout, right?
Yeah.
So now that did force men to move to Belize City for try to, and a lot of them end up being teachers, school teachers. Some of them went to work basically they went to work for the government.
Yeah.
Right? Once they start working for the government, they have to leave the farm. Right? And that's that. Then later on, they start making a lot of amendments to the land, especially Garifuna land after the 1961 Hurricane Hattie. That where you Garifuna people, you couldn't plant crops again a certain kind of way. You couldn't do this again. So what they did, they broke our economic chain. So now again, many Garifuna men try to resist those things, but guess what they do? Beat me up, lock me up, and throw it in a jail. We don't know about this. Some of it probably unrecorded, but I'm sure there were many, right? And that's how they end up to gain control. So, like I said, all this you come, and then the woman being single parent coming at home, putting up with the racist boss and all the Creole, and just imagine the Trump. Look, that's what I'm saying, Francois. They have what you call the effect of all this trauma that we receive, right? According to expert, the parent, the mother and the father, this is in the DNA, is in the DNA, and it could pass down to the child from the way how they act. Everything that we do, our children inherit it. That's why we have a repeated cycle of this poverty, and we got a repeated cycle of fixed mindset, all these type of things now, because now what we need, after any type of human being experience trauma, even the ones right now that just see the guy that got shot in that crowd, they need therapy for that one single murder that they saw.
Yeah. Imagine
the amount of atrocities that Black people face. Even right now in Belize City, you see dead body on. That's not supposed to be normal, right? People you're not supposed to see dead body on the street. You see, not even, man, you don't even see dead dog on the street in America, right? But and again, it's not normal for human beings to be dying from gun. Human beings are supposed to be dying from natural cause. What we're seeing is the death of human beings by the hands of other human beings, and that's what traumatizes human, because there's actually somebody that's coming to kill you and they mean it. That is trauma.
Yeah. You know what?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Dr. Charles would say, man, we need healing, because you know what? We have been to a lot of trauma. We have been to a lot of trauma from the moment we were exiled, from the moment they killed Joseph Chartier and his troops were exiled. It was traumatic. It was very traumatic. And then you run from St. Vincent to Balisau, and from Balisau you go to Honduras, and when you get to Honduras, it's more trauma. So you leave trauma, you arrive in Honduras to more trauma. So you leave Honduras and you go to Belize, and you get to Belize, and there's more trauma. All right. Yeah. So we haven't healed. Right. We haven't healed. And then we have. I was talking to Bill this morning. I said, man, listen. I call it the post-colonization traumatic syndrome. That's what I call it. The post-colonization traumatic syndrome, and if we don't heal, and this is what happens because we haven't healed, so we pass it on to our children, and our children are going to pass it on to their children, so it becomes a vicious cycle. Unless we heal this trauma, this is what's going to happen. We're gonna stay the way we are today. The Garifuna people in Dangriga, we're in bad state. We're in a bad state of mind. As a matter of fact, we're in a terrible state of mind. We have no economic power. We have no economic strength. We have no unity. We have no love. And we're in a bad state of mind, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. We're in a bad state of mind, and it's time for us to find solutions.
Yeah.
It's time for us to find solutions. You know, I invited Brother Morris on this program for us to make peace and for us to be unified, because you know what, we need to come together and unify. I don't know what it's going to take. Maybe we need a revolution to change the dynamics, but I would hate to say that because a revolution is going to cause more problems. Amani?
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, a revolution, like historically speaking, they always say that it's been bloody, right? But I believe strongly. You know what? I believe strongly that a revolution should be bloody because people are fighting for real ideas, right? Your real ideas like your right to life, your right to freedom of speech, and those type of things. And then think about it, Francois. Revolution has to be bloody because even any Western world would understand. That's why you have the Constitution that protects your rights, right? So the only difference is that, and what we are disagreeing with is that the government who's supposed to protect the people are not doing it, and that is what is called for a revolution, because the people, if the government fail to protect the people or are unwilling to do it, then it's the right of the people to defend themselves and govern themselves and according to the United States Declaration, and to institute a new government that would be fair with other nations around the world. I'm just paraphrasing the United States Declaration to England, right? So, and I want to say another thing, Francois, right? The same law that applies to Joseph Chatouet and all our ancestors from Honduras coming down to Belize, the same law applies. This is the craziest thing, that the same law applies in this sense that when our prominent chief resisted colonial rule for his land, for our land and our livelihood, our culture, he was assassinated, or he was killed, right? Then you have other Garifuna men who fought. They met the same fate, or deported from Dangriga, arrested, and so forth. But why the same law apply? If we today try to do the very same thing our ancestors did, fight for our land and try to fight for our culture, to protect our culture, the same very British from the 1600s are the same British that would fight us down today. Do you see the connection?
Yeah.
The same British government from the 1600s, if we fight today, is the same British government that's going to protect, because we are Carib reserve in the sense that we were military hostages, and that's why we are reserved. We are not reserved as special guests at a table, where this table is reserved for the prime minister. No, this is reserved for the criminals. And you're going to remain criminals. That's what the Doctrine of Discovery said. You're going to be criminals. Lesser human beings perpetually. Yeah. That's what. And so far as of today, the United States Supreme Court used the doctrine of discovery to support cases. So the doctrine of discovery have not been denounced, have not been objected to.
No.
Nothing. It's still a legal case in the United States. Check it out. The doctrine of discovery is the leading case to protect United States land.
Yeah.
Because that's how they seized the land. That was the law they used. So they have to back it up.
Yeah, but Amadi, earlier you said Joseph Chatier was killed. But you know what? I was talking with Bill yesterday about the word killed, assassinated, and murder. Right? So,
Right.
So Joseph Chatier wasn't killed. He wasn't murdered. He was assassinated. And the difference between assassinated is because they killed you because they killed you for a cause, because you had a cause, right? So you were being resistant to them. So you weren't murdered. You were assassinated.
Right. And that was my first choice of word, but I just used the command. I just used the regular command word and just say kill. But he was assassinated. Yeah. Right. So again, like I said, Francois, this is the common sense type of logic that I'm talking about.
There you go.
When we hear some people talk about they went to school and they learned logic and how to analyze and break things down, and I don't know how they don't analyze this part. That is the same British back then is the same British now.
Right.
And we're under the same condition. And they're not trying to, when they say they apologize, they don't mean it, because whenever you apologize and you say sorry, like for example, if I bump your car, right? You think and I break your headlight or I break off your mirror, I say sorry about that and drive out. No, I gotta repair you too, right?
Right.
If I drive next to your car, I can't just, and I knock your window off, or maybe I take something out of your car, I steal your laptop, and you still find out I stole the laptop, and sorry about that, but I hold on to the laptop though. No, I gotta give it back. Right? So that's the situation that we are in. The British stole the island of St. Vincent. They stole this land that we are on called Belize. And yet they will apologize but don't give it back. They're saying that, you know what, their justification, we can take care of it better than you.
Yeah, man, listen, the critical thinking part, and why is it so important? Because you know what? When you practice critical thinking, it empowers you to well-reasoned, logical decisions, right? It empowers you to analyze what you read and what you see and what you hear. When you have critical thinking, when you practice critical thinking, you are able to step out the box. Right? Because a lot of us, we are living in this box. And when you live in the box, you are set with the fixed mindset, right? And you don't practice your critical thinking. But when you jump out this box, you are no longer in a fixed mindset, and you are no longer stagnant. Now you can reason. You can analyze. You can analyze and reason. So this is where we are, man. This is where we need to go.
Right.
Let's say good evening to all our viewers. Bright Shine Poetry, Charles Castillo was supposed to be here today. Gary Global, Evan Hill, Charles Castillo. Yeah, man. You know what? I know how it goes. Sometimes life is lifing. Yeah, life is lifing, and then I know how it is. So there's always a tomorrow. There's always a tomorrow. So let's take a commercial break, and we'll be right back. Don't you change that channel, because you are watching Gary Vision Indigenous Network. And please like and share. Oh. When I was a little boy, I used to dance like an Ariano. Hey, hey, hey.
Niceness Natural Sugarcane Energy Booster, available exclusively at Garivision Indigenous Network Studios, number 1 Rice Street in Dangriga. Phone or WhatsApp 613-6073, 613-6073. Niceness, it's good for the young and the old. No preservatives or additives, all natural. Niceness.
Yeah, and let's not forget niceness. You know what? I created this drink right there in Dangriga because you know what? When I look around Dangriga, I don't see any Garifuna owned businesses that can provide economic growth for Dangriga and provide employment for a few individuals. So I said that that I was going to do niceness right there in Dangriga. I planted sugarcane right there in Dangriga. I planted cayenne pepper right there in Dangriga. I plant the ginger right there in Dangriga and provide economic growth and provide employment for a few of my people. And this is what I intend to do in Dangriga, right? Yeah. So, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Area Rep, National Garifuna Council, this is what Francois Estrada from Garivision is doing right there in Dangriga, right there behind your yard, right there in your community, and you don't even know what's happening right there in your community, right? So with your help, Mr. Mayor, and with your help, Mr. Area Rep, and with your help, NGC, you know, I can succeed, I can excel, and I can provide these opportunities for my people right there in Dangriga. And let's not forget Garivision Indigenous Network Studios, because listen, we have changed the way we look at Garifuna, and we have changed the level of the quality of broadcast right there from Dangriga. So again, Mr. Mayor, again, Mr. Area Rep, NGC. Listen, I need you guys' help because I can't do it by myself. I know I can't do it by myself. So with your help, we can succeed to provide economic stability right there in Dangriga. But Amadi, let's cut back to you.
If I can digress a little bit, Francois, I was listening to social media, right? And I heard one person mention about don't do certain things about the headline of Dangriga lately with the 4 young lady, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know how we talk on social media, we don't really call names, right? But the person was talking about warning our people what to do and what not to do. Like basically they're saying peaceful protests, right? Now, it never crossed my mind about when you say you have to put the word peaceful in front of protest. In my mind, a protest has always been peaceful. The only time a protest become violent is usually from the government. So they say this thing to me, right? Because I wanted to know if they are viewing us as hardliners and as violent people. And that's what I would want to clarify for our views of that. That's one thing I would take seriously. And when we talk about being adults and being mature, I'm just letting them know that when it comes to me and my name, careful when you start to make allegations about committing crimes. That is not a game, that is not a joke. So they shouldn't, if they're implying or any kind of things like that to a certain one of us, I wouldn't dare compromise or jeopardize their safety and in that kind of way to think that way, because I don't think that way. I don't think we think that way. We are here and doing things righteously and according to law.
Mm-hmm.
they're just talking. So I'm just saying this to put this out there that they know that do not mix us up with whatever the imagination is about us, especially when it comes to crime. When you haven't heard, then like you never heard of Garavision or any you committing crime or me committing any crime, then to start think of that then. So I'm just trying to separate us from their nonsense, basically. Leave us out of it. When you hear about it, we have Garavision and we have nothing to do with it. But we probably don't want to talk about it. We talk to the ones who mention it.
Yeah.
You follow me?
Yeah. You know what? And talking about that, I received an honorable discharge from the one of the best branches. I know my cousin Bill Flores disagree, but the Navy was one of the best. The Navy is one of the best branches, and I received an honorable discharge from the United States Navy. I received a military pension from the United States Navy, and so I'm an honorable guy. I don't.
That's right.
I have never been accused of theft. I've never been accused of no. I live my life honorably. Yeah.
That's right. So,
But
yeah, go ahead, sir.
but talking about the protest, I think Danriga needs a seriously boycott Western dairies, and boycott them not only for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Boycott them, because if you don't, they're gonna do it again. You know, it's gonna happen again. Hit them where it hurts financially, right? If you don't go and you buy, if you don't give them your money, they're going to be hurting. So I believe this is the way we got to take it. Boycott them. And keep your money. You know what? I've always said the solution has always been the land. Right, because if you have your land, you are able to plant your own. You're able to live off your land. So the solution has always been the land.
Francois.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question, right, on our viewers, right?
Yeah.
Boycott Western dairies, right?
Yeah.
But the lady that, well, let me use a hypothetical.
Yeah.
The lady named Miranda who did the fire, who I guess the Godfather said did the firing.
Yeah.
Let's say she is the racist one, and we boycott Western dairies, and then these ladies go and work at Fiesta. This manager goes to work at Fiesta Chicken. She already have a stereotype about Garifuna woman and black woman. She's going to take her behavior with her wherever she go. That's what I'm saying, that yes, boycott Western dairies, but make sure she gets fired and probably she don't even get employable again in Danriga. She just probably doesn't have to relocate. If that's the best thing, I'm just saying for her. Then I'm saying not only Western dairies have this problem. I heard Westtrack fire some of his black people as well. I heard Caribbean Tires only have Hispanic people. Most, if you go to Caribbean Tires and those other ones, most of their workers are from Village, 4 miles, Pomona.
Yeah.
You really don't find no Garifuna there. I applied there myself and I just wanted to see, and I'm not qualified. And it was just a job. I was just like, man, I just need to try to make money, so I'll take anything right now. And he's
But you know
what's so hard about working at those companies, man? What's wrong with these people?
Yeah, you know what? And this is where the power of the mayor comes in, man. This is where the power of the mayor comes in, because listen, if I was the mayor of Danriga, nah, this shit wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have went down like that, because I would put my foot down and make sure that if you come to Danriga for a business license, I would mandate that you have to, if you come to my town for a license, then you have to hire some people from my town.
Yes, man. I've been preaching that for the longest.
Yeah. So if I was the mayor of Danriga, I would mandate some laws or some rules that if you come to Danriga with a business, you have to hire a certain amount of people from Danriga.
Yeah. But you know what, Francois? I could even give him a deal that is very, very liberal of their choice, right? let's say you want to come to Dangriga, you want to start a business, right? And this is just a talk, so this would be collective bargaining, right? That you come to Dangriga and you want to build a business. Hey, let's say you don't want to hire none of my people. We're going to give you the land to build the structure, build your business, but we're going to go to business straight across the board. 30%, 40% for me, 60% or 70% for you on the profit of the business, and you could do your business. It doesn't matter how they take it, left or right. Either you pay 30 or 40%, or you hire 30 or 40% of the population. Choose one. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah,
simple math, man. Come on, man. They want Ghana school friends, so I don't Ghana school, man. Right? And at least I think a little bit.
Yeah, well, and that's why you're here on Garivision, because you think outside the box. You're a critical thinker. Yeah. But anyways, listen. Let's move forward in the show, and let's go into our music selection for the day. And I love this artist, Tavoman. So let's take a listen to his selection today.
GA production music.
Anigira tiro tu ba Kaba me tu mure amaliha Ogo sho dale Sa yeho nyala Hey bula segunda Tira hanya awe gua Ogo sho lage buria Ligi yande humai suwanda Lagi bela sandi Bule kama besa fumu tu igundani Aubu ni amuru nuni Wagushi bungiro lima sufula suyembuila baruwe hamu adiga wala muka leba buseru lida muwa lida sufula su bungi baba se fubana loy aga niri hame now this a good bay oh any take away you like it better way bani Labu magunda shule kita bana wabi uloli buido kipu bana lida buhaba tuni menu gusha useno motibo no madame nere me lida sunka tele na digbe madisa da banu we wagushi bungiro lida sunfula City boy, in a bell I beat it. She lit up where I want. I think I let Babu say no, but whoa. Casey let the good no say it. Ruben way got fame, who going to land in the Sagway. Ferro do not buy what shut up. Itanala. Ruba Ere, Gabarala Mugawi Yurago. I need them a la chula go young. Ruba Ita Bago. Let the go able segunda. Tira hanya awe gua Ugu shula ge buria Ligi yande humai suwanda Lagi bela sandi Bule kama besa fumu tu igundani Aubu ni amuru nuni Wagushi bungiro lima sufula suyembuila baruwe hamu Adiga wala muka leba buseru Lida sufula su Wagushi bungiro Lida sufula su Yembuila baruwe hamu Adiga wala muga Leba buseru Lida muwa Lida sufula su
All right. I hope you guys enjoy that selection from Tavoman Iterala. So let's go into some comments here. We have a comment from Melissa Rocks. It said, can people in the community file complaints about businesses that engage in illegal practices for the town to investigate and potentially prosecute or pull their license? What are the consequences of this type of actions? I'm sure the mayor can pull licenses. I'm sure, but has it been done any time or any place? I'm sure that can be done. But we can always call the mayor and ask him. Then we have another comment from Bill Guerrero Flores. It says the firing of these Garifuna women is only an example of systematic disrespect of the Belizean Garifuna. Absolutely. You know, Bill, when you and I were growing up, the racism was stink. It was very, very obvious back when we were growing up. I remember some experiences that I don't want to talk about today. When they called me Kerobi, but so the racism has been going on for a very long time in Dangriga, and until we become conscious of who we are, unless we become conscious of our uniqueness, because listen, we are unique and we are different. We are different, and unless we become conscious of who we are, it's gonna happen over and over again. Brother Amadi?
Yeah, that's right, Francois. Well, man, we just have to keep at it, keep informing the people, and try to reach out to as many people as we can. And I guess I don't know. I don't have a lot of my only solution, I think, or one of my primary solution to one of our problems is, like I said, education. Like Gary Global, he mentioned mental emancipation. However you want to, in many ways, but it's always going to boils back down to educating the people. Most movement I saw is always mobilizing the people, informing the people, getting the people mobilized, leaflets, flyers. Everybody got to be informed about this new idea, this new revolution, because again, you want the masses of the people. You want to gather the people. The people is power. So again, if that's what we want, if that's what we need to have a ground force just right there in Dangoga, like I said, and I'm willing to be this person, willing to go house to house, talking to people about indigenous rights, talking to people about constitutional rights, talking to people about maybe a fixed mindset, growth mindset, passing out. All these stuff, man, this is a 9 to 5. This is what NGC is supposed to be doing. And this is what we want to do. Mm-hmm. That every day we're supposed to be educating the people until we reach the point where we have a Garifuna education system where Garifuna is the first language taught in school, until we have our own Garifuna hospital, we have our own Garifuna banking, we have our own Garifuna. It's just a system for ourselves right under the Constitution, right under or next to the Constitution of the Belize Constitution, right? And I think we can do it, Francois. Since we're on Caravision, Francois, and last week we talked about Western dairies, and I was showing somebody the video, and when I went back, I realized, I think I said Western Union 2 or 3 times. I said, money left on my mind. So anyway, I mentioned it, and I want to clarify if that's in any way, shape, or form that Western Union company might feel any kind. We just want to know that anytime I mentioned the word Western Union, I was referring to the company in Belize, Western Dairies.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, just to clarify that.
We don't want nobody to boycott Western Union.
yeah, let Western Union know we are dead.
Yeah, exactly. exactly, man. So we want to.
That's joking, but yeah, you know what? That's a funny thing, with Western Union, because again, we do rely heavily. And what if we get that same situation from Western Union?
I'm telling you.
That's why we need to be self-determined, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If Western Union was to shut down, there's a lot of Garifuna people would be in dire in bad shape. In bad shape, man.
Yeah.
Mr. Rock have a comment. So why do you think these businesses are attracted to the buying power of the Garifuna people? Well,
All black people are considered consumers. Black people are all around the world are not produced. They don't consider us producers. We are consumers. So wherever there's black people, they like spend. That's a social study, right? With expert, they know that these are people who consume more than they even make. Yeah. So both of them, they will spend, they will find it.
This is true. She also said, it's obvious we have that kind of power, but we need to harness that power internally by supporting and creating generational wealth with our buying power. You know what? And I always talk to Melissa about niceness, right? I said niceness. I want to create generational wealth with this product, and it's very possible. It's very possible. And another comment, Mr. Rock. And who do you think is sending money via Western Union? The Garifuna diaspora? So let's not bite the hands that support us and support Garifuna in the You know what? Because exactly when is the Garifuna people in the diaspora that is supporting Garifuna people in Belize. So you can't bite the hand that feed you, right? You can't bite the hand that's feeding you. So let's there's another
Yeah, Francois.
Yeah.
And it's not that not only don't bite for us Belizeans saying not to bite the hand that feed you, the government as well, because the government, every Western Union gets sent, the government get a cut, because what we do with that, what the Belizeans do with that Western Union money, go to the store, spend it and pay tax.
Right.
That's how the government, so the Belizean American have a lot of say in what's going on, because again, you guys could crump our economy as well. And if you guys could organize from that side and show some force from that end too, because if you could gather the amount of money, just simply by, you don't even have to be barrel. Barrel come in every day. Western Union come every day. If you add that up, the amount of money coming from Belizeans, and then our government is pussy 31-year-old, take on guys lightly. I'm a baller to the top. I was not baller to. Step by there, man. You guys got a lot of buying power likewise, because you help move this economy.
Of course. Well, Brother Amadi, we're almost at the end of this show. You think you have anything else you wanna add before we? You know what? Let's go into the Garifuna words for the day first, and then we'll come back and we'll deal with that. But today we have two word of the day, because sometimes I hear people use this word, but the Garifuna word for the day is afiene, right? Afiene, and it's belief. But sometimes I hear people use this word as believe, not belief, but believe. So the Garifuna word for today, the first one is afiene, which means belief. And afenra is to believe. So afiene, the first one, afiene. Can you run that first one back? The first one, that I know, I've heard some people use this word for believe, but this word is belief. Afiene is belief, not believe, but belief. So afiene is belief, and afinra is believe. So afinra and afiene, two different words, right? So I mean, I'm not a scholar of Garifuna, but you know what? I do my best to share what I know. I do my best to share with my wife the language, and I do my best. But I'm not a scholar, but I do my best. I think I saw man, Melissa is on tonight. You gotta take care of the switchboard. Take care of the switchboard and stop the sending anything, cause she's on tonight. She's another one. We do have a lot of say, yeah, the people in the diaspora, right? We do have a lot of say, and I ask, think about us when you vote and your vote become, you know what, my glasses, these are the wrong glasses. And your vote becomes complicit and affects the community negatively while we are doing our best to support ourselves and families, friends, and those who we trust to assist us in Dangriga. Yeah, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with that. That
Right. If I'm understanding what Melissa is saying in a sense, like if that you're sending the Belizean Americans are sending support to us, but we are not using this support wisely, or we're taking it for granted. Because again, I believe this, Francois, that I always say that even growing up, when you guys come from America and you come and visit your loved ones, we should make it hospitable to you. We don't have to wait for you to be the one to finance the breakfast or whatever. Look, you come from America, you visit us, we treat you like guests.
yeah, right, true.
You know what I mean? And it's backwards. You come to visit us, and then we look tired, and you are, man, you are. You know what I mean? Then how come we don't find this as a shameful thing then? Like, you know, I'm supposed to find this shameful, man. Come on, it's the backwards. Yeah. I want to treat my guests, and I don't feel comfortable my guests treating me.
Yeah,
you feel me?
I know.
So again, growth mindset, fixed mindset.
Yes.
You know, it just shows, man, where we at with our mind, in our minds.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that that things are going to change, and I'm sure that some changes are going to be made right there in beautiful Dan. Man, you know what? Today, I feel like Fred Sanford today, because I got a lot of glasses. I got one here. I got one here. That one is not the right one. This one is not the right one. Let me see. This one is not the right one. Wait. I got all these glasses. My God. Fred G. Stanford.
Man, you got me by the floor, man.
That's not the one. Oh, this is the one. Yeah. Yeah.
I remember that Sanford scene.
I know, right? The man got twirling glasses and no. Oh, okay, all right, yeah, all right. So, Dangriga is always home, always Garifuna, no matter where we live in the world. That's Melissa what she said. Yeah, you know what? Absolutely, Dangriga is always home, and it's gonna always be home for me. I know I haven't been home in almost a year. But you know what? Life is lifing, and I have to be here to take care of this machine right there, this ticker right there. So, but anyways, yeah. Anything else you wanna say, brother Amadi, before we close off?
No, that's it, Francois. I just want to thank the viewers for tuning in, staying loyal to us, man. Much respect, much love. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you again next week. I might wanted to give you a glimpse about next week, but we'll probably just post a little teaser for you guys before the next Tuesday Culture Meets Conversation. So don't miss out. Look out for it.
Yeah, and I think that we might end up doing a emergency show on Saturday. Man, it's not the right glasses. It's not the right one. Yeah. So we might be doing a special show on Saturday. Yeah. So, anyways, again, thanks to all our viewers, Bright Shine Poetry, Melissa Rock, Evan Hill, Charles Castillo, Bill Guerrero Flores, Gary Global, Bryson Poetry, Nads Nor Arzu, brother. Man, I haven't heard from you in a while. Briti Guyon, good night to each and every one of you. And listen, we appreciate you guys tuning in. And we appreciate, or before I forget, we appreciate the donations from Charles Castillo, Rosita Alvarez, Bryce and Poetry, Melissa Rock, Denzel Amadalino for the work that's going to be done on the Royces Brigade monument. That starts October 1st. October 1st, we're going to do some work on that monument. We're going to do some work. It's going to look really nice. You're going to look really nice. We're gonna hook it up. We're gonna hook it up. Our intention was to put some lights, so it lights up at nighttime. You know what? Just watch and see what we're gonna do with that monument. But we're gonna make it look really, really, really nice. And on that note, we'll say thank you again to each and every one of you. Until next week, we'll say ayo. You say ayo.
Ayo.
Yes, that's it.
That's right. Very nice.
Okay, until next week. Peace and blessings.
Sarawak, Garinagu, Sarawak. Sarawak, Garinagu, Sarawak. Sarawama, Garinagu, Sarawama. Sarawama, Garinagu, Sarawama. Millennium 2000 is upon us. Still we sit around with a fuss. Arise, indigenous people. Sarawama, Garinagu, Sarawama. Sarawama, Lidag, Yewenedu. Sarawama, Garinagu, Sarawama. Chulu, Hada, Nidumeyu. The time is now, Garinagu. Sarawama, Garinagu, Sarawama. Wake up, Garinagu, Sarawama. Sarawama.